So now, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the next section today, creating a seamless omni-commerce experience. So right now we come to our speaker to today and join with us in this section, Mr. Nguyen, who co-founder and CEO at ScaleUP, Ms. Lê Phương, Managing Director at 𝐿𝐴𝐻, Mr. Tommy Lin, co-founder and CEO at Skinfood, and so please welcome our moderator today, Mr. CHOUDHARY, co-founder of YMT-Ads and podcast. Please welcome to join with us today, and once again, welcome our speaker.
Hi everyone. Okay, so thank you so much for attending the session, and thanks to our panelists as well for joining the discussion today. I'll give you a quick introduction about myself, and then I'll just do a quick round of intro to the panelists as well. Then we'll just do two or three slides just to give you a quick view of the topic that we are covering, and then I'll throw some questions to the panelists to take the discussion forward. So I'm Prashant. I am co-founder of YMT and Modcard. Modcard is one of our products which helps brands to do omnichannel marketing, and that's the reason I'm here.
Ý là em thấy rõ quá mà em không biết là nó rõ kỹ chưa nữa. Em thấy mặt không rõ đó.
But we have expanded in Vietnam for the last 1 year. We work very closely with a lot of clients over here. And then we have our expert panelists over here. We have Ms. Thuc. She is managing director of 𝐿𝐴𝐻, and she's held a lot of leadership positions at Unilever, L'Oreal, and few other brands. She's an expert in omnichannel, and she will definitely give us a lot of interesting views on how omnichannel is shaping up the customer experiences and how brands can leverage that. And then we have QUOC. He's co-founder, he's a serial entrepreneur. He has run many companies. He had a startup before running the current one, which is ScaleUP. And he has a lot of expertise in omnichannel. He has written a book on omnichannel. That is Vietnam's first book which was written on omnichannel. And right now he helps brands in terms of consulting them on omnichannel businesses. And then we have Tony. He has a very interesting business which every girl in this room will definitely like. He runs this company along with his wife, who is the co-founder of the Skinfood. And it is one of the fastest growing startup in Vietnam. So that's a brief intro about the panel, and what I'll do is I'll just quickly introduce the topic with a few slides so that we can take it from there. So I think we all understand what omni-channel is, but with the current changes which has happened after COVID, wherein a lot of people thought that most of the businesses or most of the buying would actually largely be online, and with that change in behavior, probably retail offline would just go away. But that didn't happen, and most of the people came back and started shopping offline. But here it came with a change, and the change was omni-channel. Omni-channel is basically user can engage with brands on any channel. They can actually buy offline, but they may have discovered the brand online, or they may have even paid online but collected the products in the offline retail store. So this is where the omni-channel journey becomes really, really complicated. You have to make sure that your brand strategy have a clear data strategy to make sure that every user who's interacting with the brand through different channels gets connected, and you're able to provide the right consumer experiences. And that's where we come to this particular point, that when the businesses were simple, it was all traditional. Then came e-commerce, wherein people started buying online. And then it was multi-channel, wherein people were buying from different platforms. It was not connected. And people had different experiences on buying online versus offline versus social channel, social commerce. And in the last 2-3 years, what has happened is brands started connecting all of this together, and that's where omni-channel things started, wherein you start connecting the data point of users, whether they come from social, whether they come from online, whether they come from offline, and create the same customer experiences for them across all the channels. And that doesn't stop there. It's basically these are some examples on how omni-channel is influencing customer these days. People discover brands through influencers, and there are influencers who are selling via social commerce. It's the same product which they can actually buy at Watson's or 𝐂𝐸𝐴 or any other retail store, but an influencer also is able to sell the same product through social commerce, right? So how do you connect the experience of buying from 𝐂𝐸𝐴 as well as somebody as an influencer selling the same product on social commerce, and then connecting e-commerce and in-store, because a lot of people while buying they start searching or before coming to the store they start searching online. Sometimes they pay on e-commerce side, you only pick up the product at the store. So how do you build that consumer experience? Ultimately, deals and loyalty. If you start collecting your first party data, a lot of people actually start downloading coupons in the online environment, and then they go to the store to buy these products, right? So creating that omni-channel experience for users who regularly come to your store, so that they can keep downloading these loyalty programs, discover these new coupons or anything like that through different channels, and then come to the store to buy the product. And lastly, connecting it to social, which is Messenger or any other channel. So that basically is a basic view of the topic. So let me just open the questions to the panelists so that we can get more clarity on how exactly to manage this omni-channel in this complex world. So my first question to play would largely be, how do you actually define the seamless omni-channel experiences for the customers, and what are the key elements which are necessary to make omni-channel work for a brand?
Wow, it's a big question, yeah, and it takes years to do it. So first of all, is the seamless iterations over there when we talk about omni-channels. So two elements in the iteration that important for the omni-channels that we call. So I think it's two factors. One is about the connectivity, definitely, right? When we talk about iteration, connectivity must be there. So I mentioned one word before, is about real time. So connectivity can enable the omni-channel works. And secondly, is the consistency that bring the customer experience consistent across the channels. Either it's transactional or it's a social consumption, it should be consistent experience over there. So in summary, two factors in the omni-channels, which is connectivity and the consistency. To be able to do it, I think definitely is about the system, the data management system over there that require, it depends on the business. So for retailer like us, we deal with millions of customers. So it's a bunch of data over there. So we need a bit of system over there to operate it. For different businesses, require different system, fit for purpose, the system over there. Secondly, I think it's about the mindset of the business, of the leaders of the business. If someone believes in omni-channels, if someone believes in the customer experience in the omni-channel environment, then they invest and they go through it, because it's not like simple and easy journey anyway. So it requires a bit of resilience going through that journey. And lastly, I think the enabler to make the omni-channel work is about the people in the organizations. So mindset it should be there, system work there, and the people to execute it.
Got it. So Tony, you're running an online commerce, right? So how do you create this amazing omnichannel experiences for your customers across mobile versus desktop and any other like social commerce?
So hello everyone. So to be honest, you know that Skinfood, sometimes called local brand. We start business around 10 years ago, and to be honestly, to compare with the international chain store, we really don't have much resources to run a multi-channel platform. So we start with the social platform, like make product viral via Facebook, Shopee, or TikTok. And then in the COVID-19, we start to establish a store. So in the beginning, my thought is very easy that when people come, just tell your phone number. Yes, the first one is phone number is the same on the website and the same in the POS. That's to combine all of the data. And then we start learning about the omnichannel, about the new technology. So we with the limited resources, we choosing which one that we can do is best. So we try to optimize the customer experience on website, on the logistics, and we have a lot of things to do. But I think there is a lot of local brand here. They start with nothing. They start with a lot of the product. They don't have any system. So they just want to sell. They love the product and they want to sell the product to the customer. Yeah.
QUOC, you ran a previous startup which had 100 stores, and that was a like food apparel company. So what is your learning about omnichannel across these 100 stores?
Yeah, I think that the definition of omnichannels everyone can say right now. I can tell from my experience back 10 years ago when I was running the woman shoe chain Juno. So we will open many stores across the country, and at the same time we start doing the e-commerce. And at the beginning I never heard about omnichannel, so we just thought that okay, people go to store are different people from the people in shop, the online. And then we run a very big campaign online, so we make a lot of promotion and discount. And the day that the campaign ran, and that the day that I discovered that a lot of people, they didn't buy online. They come to store with their smartphone and show to the store staff that where is this product, where are the promotion. I want to buy here, I don't want to buy online. And that day, that back 10 years ago, that I really discovered that okay, the customer are not simple that they buy offline or online. Their behavior become more and more complicated. Yeah. And then some years after, so we have Shopee and Lazada come and develop in Vietnam, and we started selling on Shopee also. And the point is, for Shopee, they have different policy. For example, we have the policy for return 90 days. Customer can return product within 90 days. But on Shopee, they only allow for 30 days. So the customer buy from Shopee, they come to store and they want to return to exchange the product. Even Shopee does not allow that. So how to handle that situation? And that becomes that okay, we think that now it's not about building channel separately. It's now we must to build a unique system wherever we sell the product, offline store, a marketplace, social commerce, live streaming or whatever. We must ensure the consistency and the same experience for customers.
I think the gist of the first question is basically collect the first party data so that you can create that experience for the person. And I think you rightly pointed out, start with phone number. Start with phone number and then connect the customer everywhere. it'll be good to understand how Guardian is actually collecting the customer data at the store, and how are you guys using AI and analytics, different types of tools to create personalization for users at the store?
When we started the journey about 4 years ago, more than 4 years ago, so it's a part of a bigger group in the regions. So we have certain rules to follow in terms of data collection. So it's whole process. So Vietnam regulation and also rules standards on the data collections. So we need to pay attention to it first. It's a checklist. What we can collect and what we cannot collect. And one thing that I learned from that journey is my dairy farm international group say like whatever information that not really necessary, don't collect. So only collect things that necessary to serve customer better. So be very, very careful on whatever every single data that you collect. Don't need to collect everything. So that gives us a bit of like a guidance. It's a North Star to go with, yeah. And like Tony mentioned, is phone number is a good starting point, because as you know, phone number can be everything, and it's truly everything. So we did a lot of process so that we can ensure that we collect the right information, and starting from that single phone numbers, then we can enrich the data point every single day. Even like to serve customer better in the store, for example, we use, so you mentioned about AI, so we use the in-store analytics with the AI camera so that we enhance the customer experience in the store better and better every single day. So if there's a hot zone and cold zone in the areas, then we reallocate it so that we can create better experience, for example. So it's the process from data and the numbers, and also using different tools like AI to enhance the experience. And it's a learning journey for us. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Like using AI to understand the in-store traffic, hot zone, cool zone. Very interesting. Tony, question to you. Personalization. So how do you create audience profiling with these phone numbers, and then create personalization or push personalized products to your customers?
I think that is very hard question. Yes. Actually, that's when you make a journey to enrichment your data, you have to collect a lot of things, and of course you need a place to store them all. So you will need a system. So it's very lucky here in Vietnam. There's a lot of system, because I think Vietnam is a nation of technology. So we have a lot of startup here. So in this case, we're using a local startup, Haravan. They provide a omnichannel experience to customers. So we're working very closely with them. So we asking them, so here is the data I want to collect more about the user, about the habit, about the old car that customer had buy. So how can you combine and try to generate new product and to display for customer to buy more? And along with that procedure, we can benchmark which scenario is the best. So this process continue working. Yeah. So with us, there's a lot of small platform that maybe they connect to the bigger platform in Vietnam, and all of them maybe in they are Vietnamese startups. So it's very easy to do e-commerce here. So I think it's also very cheap. Oh, very reasonable price. Yeah. Thank you.
Right. So it's all about connecting all your assets with a single page or a website, so that you're able to collect the data, and through that data you just have different kind of like understanding about consumers, and then create personalized recommendation of products. And when you wrote this book about omnichannel, how do you like as a retail store you have access to the data, but as a brand at times you struggle to get the data. So what is your recommendation to brands to
Đây là anh chỉ qua truyền báo
for
em
collecting the
biết
first
cũng
party
vậy.
data?
I think when we talk about data, we must the very important thing that normally people ignore about it is that the data must be correct before using it, because if you use the false data, it makes no sense. And unfortunately, in Vietnam, when you do the data collection, especially in store, there are a lot of error. Yeah. For example, one of my customers, they've been doing business for like 10 years, and in their system there is like 500,000 of customer data, so very big data to be begin, right? But when we look closely into this data, we found out that there is 95% of customers who are female, which is not usual because this brand serves both female and male customers. And then the reason is very simple, because in the POS system, the option of female is how to say is pushed before. So the employee at the store, they didn't make the effort to choose male or female. They just left the system with the female option. So you got the 500,000 of false data. That, of course, when you look at the name, you can distinguish a bit, but so it's this data you cannot correct. You don't know how to correct it. So my recommendation is very from the beginning. Even it's difficult to collect data, but we must be ensured that the data must be correct, and especially for the offline touchpoint, because when you run the offline touchpoint, it's such a human employee at the store. They don't really appreciate to do a lot of things to collect the right data into the system. So that's the number one that you should take care. Number two is I think right now we cannot collect data from any platform. For example, when you sell on Shopee or Lazada, I think right now they don't give you the customer data, right? And you don't know to whom you serve. So you must find out the solution to reach this customer and to collect the data for better serve. Yeah. So basically, it's very delicate problem, but when you have enough data with good one, clean one into your system, you can do many things that you mentioned here: loyalty, social CRM, or personalization, customization. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, sure.
So at Guardian, we are dealing with about 200 suppliers and more than 500 brands. So the way we are doing with the brands, to your questions about how we're going to help brands to grow, because if brand grow, Guardian can grow, basically, right? So usually we have two teams work together. So from retailer side, we have data analyst team and working with the brands team, so that we can understand the brand's objective. For example, I want more new customers, or I want to increase the frequency of that kind of products, or I want to increase the basket size for Unilever, for example. So we need to discuss on the business objective together, and then we will dive into the database that we have and look at by category, depends on the business objective, so that we can generate the insight from that. So it's not single individuals data at all. It's about the customer segments, and then we customize our approach over there, so that we call like more personalized offer in that sense. So we give brands some hints, like for example, there was a question like, I want to increase the penetrations of, let's say, brands for facial foam, for example. So we give them a hint like this is the current penetration of that brand, and this is the penetrations of the skincare or the facial foam in the total 3 million unified customers that we have. how many percent you want to increase over the last 3 months, over the next 3 months. So then starting from there, and we say, okay, this type of customers, the adjacency categories that they buy is like this. So it means that there's some preferred products. So let's do some kind of like cross-channel, or we have a few mechanisms, so we test it out with a small scale. Whichever works best, then we roll it out with a big scale. So we have done it, a few campaigns with the brands already over the last 12 months, and we learned so much of things like that. Oh my God, we didn't think of it. Then it turned out the return on investment is huge. So I think it's a lot of learning over there, and we find it fascinating.
Yeah, it's just the start of the journey, I think, from omnichannel perspective, and there are lots of opportunities to leverage on. I think one of the key things that, as a question comes in from a customer point of view, is how do you keep their data safe? Like basically, like, you know, every customer who would come into their store, they're ready to share their data, limited data, whatever. But how do retailers as well as brands can maintain the balance of making sure the privacy laws are taken care and still, like, you know, work around and create these omnichannel experiences with data for customers?
Okay, so I think the set of the data is also very important when some employee they start export to Excel on your customer data and send to somewhere, it will be a big problem. And then you know that nowadays there is a lot of customers say, why you sell our data to someone to invite me to the group chat and try to invite me to do something together more. Because that is nowadays is everywhere on the internet. So the first thing that we're working very closely with our partner, with our platform partner, and require them a lot of conditions to protect customer data. So the second thing is we sharing is employees of our organization. There's our customer data is the top one that we have to protect. So don't share to anyone. Yeah, so I think.
Internally, we have the governance on it, and also with the agency who work with us on data, they need to sign up a certain requirements that our group requests, and we do data audits annually on several layers, so that we make sure that everything is well protected. So at least 5 words to enter those kind of things. So to be sure that it's well protected, and also there's no single individual's data can be leaked out of the system. So whatever the conversation is about, like segments or a group of people, so it's none of the individual can be leaked out.
Yeah, I want to share a story about that. So, back in many years ago, it was very easy to collect the customer data. For example, when we run a loyalty program back 10 years ago, we want to know the customer birthday. So we require customer to keep their identity card, and we take the photo into the system. And believe or not, at that time, 95%, even 98% of customers accepted that. So we have a huge database with the identity card in our system. But right now it's different. The customer don't want to give information. Maybe the phone number is okay, but if you want to take, in terms of brand or retailer or marketing, you want customer data, right? But you cannot take in one time. So you must imagine the scenario to take the data. For example, you can have a scheme for birthday. So you send them a link and they can put their birthday and get a voucher coupon, and it takes more time and with a lot of scenario to get the data from customer. And of course the data privacy is two speakers already said, but I mean that about collection, you must deal with the customer right now don't want to give data, but you need to collect the data to better serve them.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. That's great. So I think like it's very clear for omni-channel experiences, the most important step that anybody has to take is collect first-party data, and collect first-party data which is meaningful. Look for what information you really need. Collect only that information. Rest is not required. And that takes us to the last thing, which is closing thoughts. Is start your online to offline journey as a brand. Start collecting data. Start with phone number, as Tony said, and start creating segments. Start creating audiences that are first party. Don't keep it to walled gardens. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to the panelists as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Moderator, for summarize on the information for this section. And so on behalf of MMA, we also have the key presented on TV speaker today for useful sharing today.
Ngoài em trở ra đúng không? Cái này tôi thấy ra rất nhiều.
So please step forward to the front of the chairs.
Sắc rồi đúng rồi, không thấy được cái mặt cái đó. Chưa này là bạn đi bé nhỏ, đây là này để
Vâng ạ, xin một tràng pháo tay ạ. Xin gửi lời cảm ơn đến các speaker chúng ta ngày hôm nay, và đặc biệt là MMA cũng có những phần quà dành riêng cá nhân Hoa Lê Hồng Phương. Dạ. Person close to me. Anh Huỳnh Quốc Tuấn, cảm ơn anh rất nhiều. Dạ, một lần nữa, cảm ơn các chị rất nhiều. Thank you so much for being here today.